What is going on, everybody? It is Craig, and we're back with movie number 83. And I I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Not perfect, we'll talk about it, but The Rental from 2020. I've always thought about watching it, like it's always popped up in my Netflix, and other queues, and I read it, and I'm like, Dave Franco directed. I'll get to it eventually. I do remember though, back in 2020 when it came out, it was on a lot of like reviewers the top list. So I probably should have looked at it then, but this is a simple enough movie and premise. You have a group of friends, they Airbnb to a house in essence, but nothing's ever that easy. Two of them are brothers, and they're both going with their respective girlfriends, but Jeremy Allen White's character, Josh, he's dating the girl who Dan Stevens, the brother, is working with. And that's going to be important for a little bit of the dynamic. But and by the way, the people in it, you have Jeremy Allen White from The Bear and Shameless. You have Dan Stevens from The Guest and Abigail. You have Alison Brie from Community. You got Toby Huss is like the one you think is the antagonist initially, and he's a character actor, been in a bunch of stuff, even Seinfeld episode back in the day, which I believe he was the Wiz guy, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Just looking at the face, I think that's what he was. I'm the Wiz, and nobody beats me. But I just realized how many of you have no idea what the Wiz is anymore because it's been gone so long. And I was just going to say it's like Sam Goody, but some of you don't know what that is either. But anyway, I digress. So in this movie, his character is a little bit racist because the one girlfriend, the woman that is working with the other brother and dating the other brother, she's a Middle Eastern background. She tried to apply for the Airbnb. She was rejected. The other guy was accepted. Now she only had one previous booking. He had three, so they're trying to logic that in the beginning. But, his career, the guy, was a little, off. But they had to do that so he could be potentially the antagonist. There is a couple things in this movie. One, Jeremy Allen White's character, sadly, it's like the worst country song ever written. He loses his dog, his girl hooks up with his brother, he gets tricked into thinking he killed somebody, and then eventually he gets killed. His brother gets killed first, after he saw that his brother cheated on him with his girlfriend. So he didn't have an easy go in this movie whatsoever. But the thing that threw me off is a little bit, and this is why this isn't a perfect movie, but I will say the acting is all really well done, is Alison Brie is up there and she can't wait to go on this hike the next day. And they're talking about how, hey, remember when me and you met, the Dan Stevens character? It was because it was like an ecstasy fused binge, and they got together even though he was with somebody else at the time. Okay, so what does she do? Even though the husband clearly has chemistry with his work colleague, and she knows that when he's on drugs, crazy things might happen. She's like, "Oh, you guys do it. I want to be up and fresh for the hike the next day." And what do you think happens? They hook up, and they like, "Oh, we can't do this again." But then when the hike is happening with just her and the guy who was cheated on, they don't know they were cheated on yet. They realize, we had sex in the shower and there was a camera in the shower. So then they want to call the cops. Like, we can't call the cops. The footage will get out. Eventually, though, the guy who you thought was the antagonist shows up, Toby Huss, to fix the. Why can't I think of the word? To fix the hot tub. And when he shows up, they call him out on the camera, and he's like, I'm going to call the cops. I didn't do this. This isn't me. This is me. And then she starts fighting him because she doesn't want the cops to come because of the footage. And then the guy, Jeremy Allen White, comes in, sees them fighting, thinks he's attacking her. He starts beating the guy, beating him, knocks him out in the tub. When they're out of the room, the real killer comes in and kills the guy, etc. So that was, one of those things. I felt bad for it, but the fact is, all this probably, they would have died anyway because that's what made this such a good movie. They showed sort of afterwards too that this is a serial killer. What he does is he rents an Airbnb, and then he rents it out. But when he rents it out, he hides all cameras in it, and then unfortunately goes in and kills the people who are there. So this is actually something that they wanted to be, could be another series. another episode, almost like Creep. You know, Creep. I mean, nowhere near as good as Creep. Creep is a top movie for me. But you know, Creep sets up Creep 2 well. Now you're gonna have the Creep miniseries or mini episodes coming out, I think, in November. But if you've never seen this, and I didn't, it kind of just one of those things like, oh, it looks good, but I don't know. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. I'm going to give it a 7.75. You know, because of some of the script things that I mentioned. But the directing, as far as Dave Franco goes, was excellent. And I didn't mention yet the killer that they only show him in his mask, and his mask is one of those like full silicone face things that like Johnny Knoxville wears when he pretends to be an old guy. You know, so you don't really know who the guy is. You do see he has dark hair. At first, I thought they were going to show his face as Dave Franco, just so he could be in the movie that he directed and partially wrote. Thankfully, they didn't do that. But 7.75, just Newbie number 83. Hopefully, I'll get a couple more out. Okay, here we go. For those of you who stuck around, I did say this was coming up before the end of September. Here's the giveaway, 8x10, signed by Tobin Bell. How do you enter? All you have to do is, in the video that I put out on Monday, make a comment, hashtag Tobin. That's it. I'm not going to mention that video on Monday. I'm trying to set this up the concept for trying to set this up where only people that really watch all these videos are involved in it. So even if just a couple of you, well, then your odds are better. So I won't mention this on the Monday video when I put it out, but that'll be the video. Put hashtag Tobin. I'll keep that video up probably for about a week or two. And then I'll run it. I'll use the random generator. That's why I have to do the hashtag thing. I'll have them pick that hashtag. Anyway, folks, sorry for the longer video this time. Till next time, peace.